Scotty, we got Gunnar.
All right, Gunnar, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
All right, questions. Give us a second to get to the questions. And your first will come from Eric Henry. Eric, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Gunnar. I just asked this to Quinn earlier. Would love your perspective. As an offensive player, how crucial is it that Quinn is that calming presence for you guys? I mean, no disrespect to guys like Kelvin or Jake or veterans like yourself, who obviously are all talented players, but how crucial is it to have that quarterback be the calming presence for you guys throughout the games?
Yeah, I mean, just obviously as our, front runner leader on the offensive side of the ball. He's the one that leads us, gets the play going, and just to see him calm, definitely calms our nerves a little bit. Just as we're driving, if things aren't going well, if things are good, he keeps us in a good headspace. If things might not be going too good, keep going 3-and-out, keeps us in a good headspace. Just keeps encouraging us. So obviously, yeah, very effective to have him on our side.
Your next question is going to come from Westcott Elberts. Go ahead.
Hey, Gunnar, I was wondering if you could take us through that score on the first play of second overtime. What's that route that you're running? Have you guys run that play before? And how do you have to really sell that at the line of scrimmage that you're blocking?
Yeah, we run a lot of slider and I guess gap area protection. So we ran it last year against Iowa State, and I scored on the same play. But essentially, I fake that I'm sliding down in protection and then leak out the back door. It's been pretty effective. And, the National Football League this year and a lot of other colleges, I think Boise State ran a version of it against Penn State. So, we knew it was going to be a good call. It's been in the entire season. I think we tried to run it against Michigan and got shot down. But then, as soon as we called that one, I was pretty confident that I was going to be able to make a play.
Thanks, Gunnar.
Your next question is going to come from Noah Gross.
Afternoon, Gunnar. You talked a lot about your journey at Texas while you committed to UT and committing to the school. In this playoff where you get to play these massive games, do you take moments to appreciate it while you're in it? And what are those moments like for you?
Yeah, I mean, coming to a school like Texas, Coach Sark alluded to it today. We're built for games like this. We play in a lot of games like this in front of a lot of people in big stadiums on big stages. So, I think that I'm pretty used to it at this point. But early on in my career, it was definitely really eye-opening. Not playing at a huge Texas high school football program. A pretty big program coming out of the state of Colorado, still the biggest one in Colorado, the best one in Colorado. But yeah, I would just say that, try to take a moment just to reflect back in the next years, just where I was as a player.
Your next question is going to come from Chip Brown.
Hey, Gunnar. How's this team handling being the underdog, playing in the state of Texas? And what's been the messaging from Sark this week?
Yeah, just being where our feet are. Honing back in our details. Obviously we're trusting that our fans are going to come out and make an appearance, especially being up in Dallas, just up the road. So we feel like we have the advantage in that aspect. But I think we're really dangerous as underdogs. We've been underdogs for a lot of big games my early years here, such as Alabama at home, and then obviously Alabama on the road in a really tough environment in Tuscaloosa. So I think underdogs, the aspect of that makes you really dangerous as a team. But it's just another game for us. We're preparing the same way as we would.
Your next question is going to come from Kurt Bowles. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, we've all talked about Quinn, his composure and how calm he is. You've known him for a good while. What makes him nervous? Is it like public speaking, going to the dentist? Do you ever see him get nervous?
Guess the only way I can answer that is sure as heck isn't football. Because every time I see him, every time, I would be pretty shell-shocked as a quarterback, thinking back in it. He's been the most level-headed that there is on the field. So, he carries himself really well, off the field. I don't really have an answer for you on that one. I have no idea what makes him nervous.
Your next question is going to come from Josh Newman. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, Gunnar. As your time in Texas starts to come to an end here, is there something to be said for the fact that you are leaving this program in a much better place than when you showed up?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when I showed up, I think we had a 2.7 team GPA. Obviously we went 5-7, no bowl game. Horrible culture. Nobody here wanted to be here. And then, just kind of built on that as I've gone on through the years. Next year, I think we had a 2.9, 8-5, lose the bowl game, however many draft picks. And then the next year, 11-2 or whatever it was, get to the biggest stage, however many draft picks, maybe 3.0 GPA, team GPA. And now this year, obviously being where we are, I think we have a 3.2 team GPA. Culture is stronger than it's ever been. And coming down the way, who knows how many draft picks. So obviously Coach Sark and the rest of the coaching staff has done a spectacular job setting the standard for this team. And just this team buying into that standard and setting the groundwork and building upon itself each year.
Your next question is going to come from Terry Middleton.
Gunnar, good afternoon. So I'm just curious, you're known as Mr. Reliable, right? They always find you maybe when the run's not happening or the passes aren't dropping. Let's get it to Gunnar, you score a touchdown or make yardage. So I'm curious, as the game is going on, are you communicating with either Quinn or Sark that says, hey, I think I'm open here. You might want to, look at this coverage that I'm getting because I think I can make a difference? Or is it something that's pre-scripted and they're going to go to you when they need to?
A little bit of both. It's not so much as they're going to go to me when they need me, but I think you put the ball in your best opportunity to win, the best player's hands when you need it the most. And we have a lot of really good players. There's not, one or two that are just the best players. So I think that's the diversity of our team, of our offense. We got a lot of explosiveness. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a little bit pre-scripted, but it's just the flow of the game. Part of our job as a player, just to, keep the connection from, us to Coach Sark to Quinn going, is coming off the field and telling, maybe Coach Banks or Coach Cutter or Coach Sark, just the looks that we're seeing. And, it's their job to scheme up the best place possible, and they do a great job of it.
All right, we're going to get you out here on this last question from Andrew Gillis.
Gunnar, when you look at Ohio State's defense, obviously Caleb Downs is a big part of that. How difficult is he to prepare for? And, what changes for you guys when you have a guy that can play, deep safety, he can play down towards the line of scrimmage, he can play almost a middle linebacker. What kind of challenge is he for you guys this week?
Yeah, huge challenge. Heck of a player, can fit the run, very physical and fitting the run. Obviously one of the best in pass protection in the country, or pass coverage in the country. So yeah, we got our hands full with not only just him, but the linebackers. They feel real hard. They're very physical. Their front, so obviously their front's an NFL front, and their secondary is obviously an NFL secondary. It's just an NFL defense as a whole, NFL scheme. So we got our hands full. It's going to be a really tough challenge, and it's probably the best we've seen.
We're going to squeeze one more in real quick from Jeff Jones.
Appreciate you. Gunnar, a moment ago when you were talking about the shift in culture and leaving the program in a better place, you knew the GPA, the team GPA each year. What's that correlation in your mind between team GPA and on-field success? And has that always been important to you, or did somebody push that stat to the front of your mind?
Yeah, no, Coach Sark says it all the time. It's your 3 gears of life. So your personal life, your school life, and your football life. And if everything's going great, then all the gears are twisting themselves. But if you get something jammed up, maybe you fail a test, maybe one of your grades drop, then if that's on the front of your mind, then you start to do poorly on the football field. Then maybe your personal life isn't going quite as well, or the other way around. Maybe something gets jammed up in your personal life. You're hanging out with the wrong group of people, you get in trouble. Then the on-field stuff, maybe you get benched. Then you're thinking about that. Then you fail a test. Or another way around it, you're on the field, you're busting assignments, maybe you get benched, then you start to not really care, then you don't go to school, then you start failing, then you become ineligible. So it's a snowball effect from all 3 aspects, but that's something that's pressed upon us in the off season. And yeah, it's part of our culture to have success off the field as well, especially in the classroom, especially at a school like Texas. So I think Coach Sark has done a tremendous job with that.
Gunnar, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.